Zafar Abundancewala, and you are watching Abundance Show on Global Abundance Organization GAO TV. And today we are joined by a great guest who sits at one of the most critical intersections in technology, the space where global connectivity, edge computing, and artificial intelligence converge. Emmanuel has spent the last decade building the backbone of Internet of Things, the invisible infrastructure that allows our devices today to talk to one another across borders and networks. But Emmanuel is not just a technologist. He is a bridge builder, whether he navigates complexities of eSIMs and 5G at Flow Live, driving GTM strategies at the cutting edge of AI, or exploring the intersection of deep tech and human creativity. He is obsessed with one question: how do we take hype out of an AI and turn into actionable, scalable intelligence? Please welcome a strategist, an IoT specialist, and a visionary who is actively architecting the next era of how data moves, learns, and acts at the edge. How are you, Emmanuel, and welcome aboard?
I'm really well. Thank you for the kind introduction. I'm flattered and really excited to talk to you a little bit about how to answer that question that you brought up. That is
Thank,
how to actually
thank,
go
I
ahead.
think, thank you so much, Emmanuel. I mean, before I deep dive into the AI world, your world, would you like to get us a short story of your life?
Mm. Well, thanks for the thanks for the professional introduction. Yeah. Well, so I'm born and raised in Sonoma County, Californian through and through. My wife is from California. We have 3 kids and live out here in Roseville, California, about maybe a couple hours from San Francisco. But yeah, my in terms of kind of my professional career started, I dropped out of college in 2007. Um, in hindsight, it was poor timing in terms of global economics, but I dropped out of college and started a tech company in the live event industry. So we were buying and selling, building platforms to support the live entertainment industry, which includes sporting events, concerts, and things of that nature. So really a lot of fun. Ended up going back to school in 2012, wrapping up my undergraduate degree in economics at Claremont McKenna College, also in California. And then from there, I've just worked through Fortune 500s and startups from Series A all the way through IPO, building out that invisible infrastructure that you alluded to at the beginning of the call. So I've been in the space long enough to kind of know where the bodies are buried, as it were. But really, I have a great time answering that question every single day that you brought up. That is how to actually materialize and realize the value that's promised from IoT and edge AI. So that's what I wake up to do every day. I really enjoy it, and I'm excited to talk a little bit about it today with you.
Thank you so much. I'm amazed and such an impressive story you have. Emmanuel, you said you spent last 10 years making things smart,
Mm.
smart inverted within inverted commas smart, and the next 10 making them do work. What is the fundamental difference in mindset required for those two eras?
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, I think just you know, back to your question, how do we take all this complex technology and make it real for people and improve folks' lives? So what I've done over the last 10 years, when I say I'm making things smart, I've worked in the Internet of Things and I've connected those things to the cloud. So eSIM is all about connecting things to the cloud, right? We want to make sure that any device, whether it's a tractor or a heart monitor, an external heart monitor, or it's maybe a sensor that measures the levels on a liquid propane gas tank. All of these things that are distributed around the world need to be connected to a centralized cloud for them to be useful. All that data needs to be kind of transformed into meaningful insights. And then at that point, right, you can make some business decisions. But ultimately, that's what I've done for the last 10 years is connect the Internet of Things to the cloud. So for the next 10 years, with the evolution in AI and the capabilities of kind of condensing and quantizing models down to be able to embed them into the devices, into those things, when you start to push that intelligence to those things, to the Internet of Things, now you rely less on that transport to the cloud and that centralized aggregation, that centralized intelligence, whether it's AI or other intelligence, in terms of human analytics or data analysis, right? Now this paradigm is shifted in the sense that no longer do you need that centralized resource as much because you can put intelligence all the way at the edge, at the thing where the data happens and where you need action, right? So that's what I mean by spending the last 10 years making things smart, right? Embedding intelligence, embedding connectivity into the vacuum cleaners and anything else under the sun. Now I'm making sure that those vacuum cleaners in that instance can actually do work autonomously, right? Because of the capabilities that we're enabled with now with Edge AI.
Wow, thank you so much. Such a deep dive. Okay, Emil, there is a lot of noise in the AI space. From your perspective, at the foundation of Edge AI, what is one boring but vital problem we need to solve before AI can truly become ubiquitous in our physical environment?
Yeah, I think that is it's the connectivity layer. The problem with building smart things and then distribute them globally is connecting them back to that central cloud, that central source to make actionable insights real. So I think that you can build a lot of really great robots or devices or things that whether it's a smart home system that makes folks more secure and comfortable in their homes, or it's a robotic agricultural field worker, right? So a device that goes around and kills weeds with lasers or monitors insect infestations, right? The reality is that you have to connect all of those things for them to be useful. And so that connectivity to the cellular networks and to the satellite networks has traditionally been very difficult. You have a SIM card that is your authentication mechanism to connect. And that SIM doesn't always work the same, in different regions of a country, but certainly across borders. Those SIM cards, that legacy technology just wasn't built for the Internet of Things or Edge AI. So that has we've been working on that problem for 10 years or so. So now I think we've pretty much solved the problem with eSIM. There's really ubiquitous coverage with cellular connectivity and satellite connectivity. And that eSIM layer, that evolution or the next phase of a SIM card is now virtualized. It's dynamic and it's something that enables the Internet of Things in a way that wasn't the case, 10 years ago. So I think to your question, the most difficult thing in this business has really been that last mile of connection. So that's where I've spent a lot of time.
Wow, I mean, this was amazing insight. Many people don't realize that for AI to function in a robot or an autonomous vehicle, it needs reliable nervous system. Could you
Right.
simply could you simplify why the connectivity layer, like the work you do at Flow Live, is the make or break factor for successful AI deployment?
Yeah, absolutely. So latency is the big thing, right? When it comes to enabling intelligent vehicles to make decisions at the edge, it has to be real time. It has to be sub 10 millisecond latency. It has to be very, very quick. That is where the data is generated and when it's processed, right? So it goes back to my point about kind of this paradigm of a cloud centric architecture. If you have to transport vehicle data and mission critical data, life safety data to the cloud, you're looking at 100, 200 millisecond latency, depending on where you are in the world. And that is the difference between life and death. So the reality is that you have to have intelligence at the edge. In this case, in automotive, you have to have the vehicle process the data. So imagine the vehicle has a computer vision enabled camera system, and it spots a dog run out from the driveway in front of the vehicle. If that vehicle is running autonomously, it doesn't have time to see the dog, know that it's a dog, identify that it's a dog, and then transport that data to the cloud to decide what to do. It also can't necessarily just transport all of the data at once, right? So you can't have a live video stream from 25 cameras at all times. It's just not practical to transport that much data. So the automotive is a great example, as you said. Edge AI enables that vehicle to process the data intelligently on site and trigger the vehicle to stop when it recognizes a dog running out into the street. So that is something that has to happen in real time at the edge. That transport to the cloud and back to the device with the decision is not practical in this sense. So that's what you're seeing in automotive. There's a massive, massive adoption of AI in automotive. As you might expect, it's an incredible use case that adds incredible abundance to people everywhere in the world. When you can start to utilize a vehicle at 99% capacity, rather than have vehicles parked in garages and driveways all day. That autonomous, that edge AI enablement really kind of brings out a lot more value out of a traditional vehicle. So it's a good example.
Wow, great. How do we bridge the gap between fragmented global mobile networks and the need for seamless localized intelligence at the edge?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways. So, for the last 10 years, I've really been focused, and I still forever will be focused on bridging that gap with eSIM connectivity, right? Everything that's intelligent, whether, in terms of Internet of Things, needs to connect, right? So you can have all the intelligence built into an edge gateway, into an edge IoT system. But the nature of the economic nature of these technical solutions require global economies of scale. They require global distribution, right? So you're not going to build out a specialized system to monitor, wastewater, right? And then not take the opportunity to distribute that system to other countries and to other places to be able to kind of operate and maximize your business, right? So we're seeing, especially in all technology spaces, but even in the IoT and the hardware space, the economies of scale are such that you have to be global. So that kind of brings in, to question, well, how do you connect, right? How do I take my local connectivity and with my SIM card here in California and connect to, to the internet in Pakistan where you are, right? So how do I take a device and connect that device that's in Pakistan to the internet, right? So we do that by essentially localizing the connectivity through core infrastructure. So the way that as I mentioned, you can solve the problem by pushing more and more intelligence and autonomy and empowerment to the edge, but you can also, and you must also connect those devices and those systems to the cloud. And so those are the two ways that you really can bridge that fragmented infrastructure of cellular connectivity. Again, one, push more and more intelligence to the edge so that connectivity is less of a contributor to the value of your solution. And then use eSIM to connect all those devices locally at the infrastructure layer. I think I got maybe a little bit deep into the architecture there, but essentially there's two ways to solve that problem: more intelligence, more empowerment at the edge, and then better connectivity from the edge to the cloud. I'll pause here for just a moment.